the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week.
Hi, this is Ben Halderman. Welcome to Business Podcast of the Week.
Fantastic. And that is Ben, the man of the moon himself, the spaceman himself. And of course, I am Joshua, your host. Ben, is the moon our next legacy or your next legacy?
That's where we're headed next, and it's going to happen faster than most people think. Like the rockets
Really?
are being built to fly regularly. Yeah.
Okay, it's fascinating. I mean, that's where we're going next again, but this time regularly, more efficiently, more affordable, perhaps.
We're going back to stay. We're gonna build a base. We're gonna build a community. We're gonna build a village. We're gonna build a city, and we're gonna do it on Mars too. And
damn. I'm already loving this direction. I'm already loving what we're going to talk about in this episode. To all our audience and listeners out there, of course, to introduce Ben a little bit, Ben Halderman is the founder of LifeShip, a space community focused on preserving Earth and expanding life into space. With a background in rocket science and space engineering, Ben has contributed to the design and launch of hundreds of satellites, built telescopes to find new planets, and developed instruments to search for life on Mars. Ben possesses, grounded in a human journey of exploration and expansion. He was early engineer at Planet, where he designed hundreds of spacecraft, and today Ben lives an international community in the countryside of San Diego and is passionate about the future community living on Earth and beyond. He is a visionary space entrepreneur, passionate about making space accessible to all. And again, I'm already loving how we started that off. Ben, how are you doing? Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm doing great, Joshua. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and excited to talk about space and talk about my journey and what we're doing to make space accessible to people.
That's it. How do we make space accessible to people? Ben, how did this all journey begin? What was a young Ben Halderman like? Was he always into space? Were you always into, looking up to the stars?
So I like to build things. I was an Eagle Scout. My nickname was Spaceman, but I was not like crazy space fanatical. But I went to school for engineering and I for mechanical engineering. So I designed and built things. And in grad school, I started designing instruments to look for life on Mars, to look for amino acids in the soil of Mars. And so that got me into space. And then I built telescopes and then satellites and now LifeShip.
Now, that is very interesting. Of course, before we really get into this, because I feel like we're going to delve a little bit into the sci-fi realm, but not really so fictional, right? Because it's actually really going to happen if it's not already happening or will happen soon. But then to lay the groundwork a little bit, I want to talk about your journey where, like you said, you got into engineering, you built these telescopes, you built these rockets, you got into rocket science as well. Did this all start with the mission or with the vision pointed towards Mars specifically, or was it really a gradual journey where it was basically that led you to space visionary, so to speak?
Yeah, I feel space caught my curiosity. I worked on stuff to look for life on Mars. I built telescopes to look for new planets, and then I built satellites to help Earth. And so that really, my path went for looking for life out there, looking for places life could one day go, or life could one day have been, using space to help Earth. Really like a well-rounded, both about like space and out there, but really about Earth and about life on Earth. And yeah, so that kind of got my curiosity all about life and the universe and the existence of life and where's life going and how does life emerge and yeah, that all, as far as like my purpose, I feel like I kind of just was like following breadcrumbs and all that. But then there was a point maybe 5 years ago where I really felt like, my purpose crystallized
That's it.
and yeah, where I really felt like, oh, okay, my mission is to both preserve and help life here, but to continue life out there. And so like
that.
the continuation of life in the universe,
I love
which
that.
is also the continuation of life here as well.
Absolutely. I love that you had that vision, like the quest, right? The quest is always to find life out there, right? Like does life exist anywhere else in the planet, in the universe, or just within our system, our solar system, right? But you stay grounded in that, hey, yeah, we do have a quest to find life out there, but we still need to focus on our life, on the life form that we know back here on Earth. And of course, again, we feel like that mission is really kind of making science fiction into reality, so to speak. And I feel like that's what you're doing with LifeShip. You build satellites to observe Earth, but now you're also launching LifeShip's DNA seed banks, which is to preserve life beyond Earth. Ben, this is really fascinating stuff. Talk to us about LifeShip and talk to us about these seed banks. What are these seed banks?
Yeah, so as I was saying, the vision for me came in the rainforest in Central America. I had the vision, I was meditating under this tree, and I had this like deep vision of the earth as one intelligent organism and the earth ready to reproduce. And that's what organisms do. Organisms reproduce. And the earth does everything an organism does, but it hasn't reproduced yet that we know of. And so in the vision, like it was very clear that the earth grew humans with intention, and that our greatest purpose here is to help the earth reproduce and to like be stewards of life. And so I kind of opened my eyes from this and I was like, oh, I'm here to, the long sci-fi vision is create the seeds of Earth and send the seeds to the stars and ripple life across the galaxy and green the universe. And that's like sci-fi and out there. And then it made sense, like seed banks, let's back up Earth. Let's save Earth for our grandkids, for our great grandkids, for 7 generations, for 700 generations from now. Let's save all the species that are here today, because we're by one estimate I heard we're losing 200 species every single day to extinction, and that's a lot of species that we'll never see again. And so it makes sense to save a vault and a copy of all the species of Earth. And whenever you save a backup, you don't want all your backup copies in one spot. So the moon is like the next logical place. Like we look up there and see it all the time. It's like we can get to it using technology 50 years ago. So like it's somewhat accessible. And so yeah, I kind of latched onto this first vision of seed bank backups of Earth on the moon, building towards let's send the seeds of life to the stars and continue life in the universe.
Fantastic. It's like shooting up these seed banks out there. I love how you call it backup, because we have plant species here, perhaps that, like you said, going extinct, getting another chance, another lease at life elsewhere if we put them in these seed banks, shoot them up into space, and hopefully, they land somewhere and then proliferate. Okay, not literally, of course, right? But it's like it's a lot like space exploration, planting a tree, but planting a tree out there up into space. How do you envision these seeds, though? How do you envision these seeds of LifeShip growing to forests of future communities? But another layer to that question I'm thinking, Ben, is that, I mean, these environments are not going to be like Earth. Some of these species might not survive in that kind of environment. Maybe we come up with a different species or something like that. But how do you envision seeds, starting with the seed banks, of course, how do you envision them spreading? And do you think, is the moon the perfect place to start, and why?
Yeah. And so we've already sent 3 of these to space. The next one going to the moon in December is the one like that has the biggest collection so far. And so when I say seed banks, we have hundreds of different plant seeds on board. But we also have the DNA of all different species of animals and the DNA of all different humans as well. So it's plant seeds, but it's also a DNA backup. And
yes,
and there's already a project out there that is working to bring the woolly mammoth back from DNA from the woolly mammoth. So it's credible that within and scientists actually have cloned species from DNA. So saving a copy of DNA is the blueprint of a human or a blueprint of an elephant or a blueprint of whatever. So to a first order, like, we're saving the DNA of all different species. And for some plants, we're saving the seeds as well. But doing all the seeds that's a bigger volume than DNA. So the vision, like, is the DNA backup of Earth, because that's like the blueprint of Earth. And we don't put this on the moon expecting it to just add water and it'll grow or anything. Like, Earth doesn't have an atmosphere. It is like just like a vault backing up this code of life. And same when we go to Mars, or when we're sending another one out to deep space. These are just backups of the blueprint of Earth. Though many people and many sci-fi books have imagined creating an actual seed that could be sent out there, and billions of these seeds that could be sent out there, and that could crash into something and could start the process of evolution on another planet. And there's many people high up in NASA that I've talked to that believe that's how the Earth might have gotten started, is that something else that sent its seeds here, or a fungi spore came here, or whatever. So yeah, in some ways we are building towards, could we actually create seeds that spread life? And that's probably not going to be the moon or Mars, because there's easier way to like build up life on the moon or Mars. But if we're going like galactic and sending these across the galaxy, then possibly seeds actually make sense, or like some sort of bioengineered seeds. And to your point of, will there be new species in space? Like, probably. And like, yes, things will need to be adapted to different environments. And in a way, I see potentially we do that in the future. Who knows? Like, we're starting off by biotech engineering space company that preserves the DNA of humans and species, and people can add their DNA and save the forever copy of themselves across space. And maybe someday we're actually working on bringing those people back to life, or it's scary, but modifying those people or bringing them back to the Mars environment, or whatever. That's, sci-fi and future, but like, the premise is, could we save a copy of Earth and send it to the stars, send it to other places, and someday bring those species back?
I love it. Like I said, like, we are entering kind of like a sci-fi realm, but it's not so fictional, is what I think is what we're getting at. I mean, where we're at right now, especially the way you talk about it, and especially the engineering that's revolving around LifeShip as well. It's like, the idea is there. It's doable now. We can do it now. We're getting it done now. You've already sent 3 of these seed banks out there. We're now focusing on Mars, and there was also another discussion there, right? Like, why haven't we built a base on Mars already, right? Like, we were there a long time ago during this space race. Why haven't we returned? I mean, we did return a few times, right? But why not a base? On your website, Ben, the LifeShip website, literally the first thing that comes up out there is like putting a pyramid on the moon, right, as part of a symbolic mission. This is fascinating, of course, and I understand the implications of having a moon up on there, which I think is like, wow, fascinating. What was the inspiration first of putting this idea, that the symbolic pyramid on the moon? What was the inspiration behind that, and how do you fit it? How do you think it fits the broader vision for LifeShip?
Yeah, so we are putting a pyramid in the launch in December. It launches. There's a lunar lander called Firefly Aerospace. They build a lunar lander, a moon lander, and they're based out of Austin, Texas. And this lander launches on a SpaceX rocket, Elon Musk's Falcon 9 rocket, and it'll go to the moon surface, and the lander will land on the surface, and we have a small, like, 1.5 inch tall pyramid on it. this. It's a small pyramid, and we have 4 more upcoming missions over the next several years to the moon, and we plan on bigger ones to the moon as well. So a pyramid is a symbol that has stood the test of time. All different cultures have built it. It's a symbol that kind of represents like a legacy of a previous culture passing on something to a future. Yeah, it's a monument. Even a small one is still a monument. And in some ways it's kind of like I go to Burning Man, and at Burning Man there's a temple at Burning Man, and it's not a religious temple. It's just like a gorgeous structure that gets built in the middle, and at all hours of the day, 24 hours a day, people are in there writing messages to on the walls, or like hanging photos of loved ones, or hanging art on the walls, and over the course of Burning Man, the week of it gets covered in like prayers and intentions and wishes and memories and all sorts of stuff. And so I kind of see this pyramid on the moon as something like that. It's something that we have ways for people to add their photos, their stories, their memory of a loved one, their DNA, their art, all different things. So it is kind of like a temple for all of humanity that people can add stuff to. And I see that building towards maybe someday we actually, when there's a village on the moon or a small city on the moon, then maybe we actually build like an actual temple and like can send people there. And
that's true.
And it's like so it's a vision towards something that can unite humanity, something that anyone can be like, cool, we all can put our wishes and our dreams in there, and that's what it symbolizes.
Absolutely. And it's like a testament, right? Like a testament to mankind. The stories of like the pyramids like existing before the Egyptians even settled. It's always a story that has stood the time, like a test of time, right? And what we're doing is we're trying to transcend space-time this time around, right? And it's having that pyramid, even though no matter what the size to start, right? It's the symbolic testament to our goal, our journey, mankind's goal to transcend all that. And like you said, I love it. Eventually, we probably build a village. We probably build a base. I really think we should build a base on Moon sooner than later. And I think that I love that LifeShip is one of those that are spearheading that. And you guys are on a mission to again expand our species. I love it. First of all, Ben, LifeShip, I love the name. What else do you guys have envisioning of what LifeShip can do and will do in the future as we try to transcend or send mankind into space or back up mankind into space? I love it. What other projects do you have in mind?
Yeah, so we're really in some ways like a platform, a time capsule platform, a space-time platform. So we have a bunch of partners that are adding their own collections to it. So one of our partners is adding 100,000 kids have submitted art to it and are putting the art in it. Another partner is a group called the Museum of Ideas, and they interview people about their ideas and are collecting ideas from all over humanity and then preserving these in our capsule in space. And so it is a way for people to help create something, and that could be a business where it's like you create a business where you collect some submittals from people, or collect their wedding photos, or their like make a wedding gift, or make a memory thing or a legacy thing or something. So yeah, we're excited about partnerships and other groups and other people and other companies that want to add stuff and contribute to this. And then we have products for people. We have products for people to send their art. We have ways for people to send their DNA, their story, building towards saving your avatar, which is like, your 3D virtual scan of yourself, as well as like your stream of consciousness, train an AI on who you are and send that to the stars. And and then we're using technology in these where we're both etching into a nano etching into a ceramic information that's as well as into this nickel metal called nanofiche, and both of those are designed to last 1 billion years in space. So we can save information, we can save your avatar, we can save your photo, we can save your legacy, your story for 1 billion years, and
Yes.
we can save your DNA, your genetic code.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I see it as a platform. I see it as like, okay, we're creating a few products, but then
Mm-hmm.
I meet all sorts of people who want to create things and make them last forever and make them be a story that gets sent to the moon. And so yeah, we're excited about people that help build things on top of this and include their information.
I love it. I love it. Again, it's like transcending space time, making sure our memories last, but at the same time, what can we do now? Like how can we put ourselves out there right now and making it more accessible for everyone? Lunar art galleries, by the way, is all over your website as well. For our audience and listeners out there, a website is lifeship.com. You guys could go check that out. You can send your DNA. You can send, what check out what other projects they have out there as well, that other projects that they have in line. Ben, I love it. I mean, I don't know if you can tell by now, I'm really, really into this stuff. I love sci-fi, but also even more this because now it feels like we're turning it into reality a bit more every day. Thanks, of course, to LifeShip and all your partners and what you guys do and your team over there. Ben, as we start wrapping this up, this is kind of just like a question in tangent. We talked about the future of LifeShip, and your journey, your past, and the current as well. Ben, do you think there's life out there?
For sure. The universe is so big. There are so many planets out there, and there's already very likely signs. The instruments that I worked on the early prototypes of, future ones have now gone to Mars on the rover missions, and they've found amino acids in the soil
Gosh.
and other molecules that we only know of life producing chemistry or biochemistry that produces those. It's very likely that life evolved on Mars as well, that
Mhm.
could have been related to Earth and like cross contamination or whatever, or it could have been
Wow.
totally independent. And there's also signs that life might have evolved in the atmospheres of Venus. So it's possible that life just evolves. That's what the universe does. It's like
Mhm.
you get the conditions right and then life happens. And so yeah, I think there's likely a lot of life out there. There's a lot of galaxies out there. There's a lot of stars in our galaxy. I think by some estimates, it, there may not be another planet with intelligent life at this very moment in our galaxy,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
but there very likely is the universe. And
I love it.
yeah, so whether we meet them or we hear from them, I don't know. I think reality and consciousness is a complicated topic,
Absolutely.
but I do feel that the universe is intelligent and that there is other intelligences out there, and it's
Mm.
informing what's happening here today, because like the whole
Love
universe
it.
is unfolding according to the intelligence of the whole universe, and that
Mm.
intelligence of the universe, I from my experience, like time is kind of an illusion, and the
Mhm.
future and the past all exist like at the same time as now, and so
Truly.
that anything that happens in the future, anything that happens in the past, like all is informing this very moment and what's happening right here, right now. And so, yeah, I think there's alien intelligences. I think they inform what happens here today. I think there's other dimensions and some sort of ways of communications happening. And but yeah, I don't know if like little green men have landed here and are in some
Well,
secret
whatever
lab or
happens,
not.
and whatever the instances are, if we do find that life out there, the very best thing we could do and what you guys are doing now, at least making sure that we put ourselves out there and that our memories and our stories remain out there, and whether that reaches someone or not, hey, we're out there, we're reaching for the stars, so to speak, and if we miss, we will quite literally land on the moon, which is what we're trying to do currently. And of course, again, what the website for our audience and listeners out there is lifeship.com. Go check that out. Go connect with Ben as well on LinkedIn and all the other socials he might have. Ben, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Anything else you'd love to leave behind the audience?
Yeah, I love this topic. Anyone who has ideas or is passionate and wants to reach out, I'm happy to connect personally and have a conversation. And Yeah, and I'm just grateful to be on this mission. Like it is,
Yes.
I feel it is such a beautiful mission. It's not just about humans going and conquering. It's like it's a mission for life. It's a mission. Like the continuation of life. It's about our ancestors and our roots and where we come from and where we're going. And like we are at like, you know, for some people it's like, why put the effort into space? But like it is happening, and it's happening fast. And the rockets are turning into like airplanes, and like SpaceX is building thousands of these next big rockets, and they're fully reusable. And so like cities on the moon, cities on Mars are going to happen quickly. And like, so what we do now and who we choose to be and what like values we take outwards, that is like going to affect the whole rest of the universe and the whole rest of our species and come back and affect here on Earth. So I feel like right now and who we choose to be and what we choose to bring outwards and how we do it as a movement for humanity is like a very important thing that's very present and right now.
Yes, and a very important mission, and a mission that we are undertaking right now, a mission that is being led by LifeShip. Ben, thank you so much for bringing your knowledge with us today, and of course, for being here on the show. Thank you.
Thanks, Joshua.
To all our audience and listeners out there, thank you for watching this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. We will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.